Bloody Mary, bloody myth. The royal physician, Dr. John Foreman, was called to see the Queen just before her death. And when he entered her chamber, he was horrified to see that her skin had turned black and she was rotting away from the inside out. I make videos about the Tudors and the early modern period, but you probably know me from my social media where I share mini Tudor history lessons every day. This is a famous story about the last monarch of England's most infamous royal line. This dramatic tale comes to us from one of Mary I's biographers, the Protestant historian John Fox, who wrote the Book of Martyrs, a sensationalist account of the persecutions of Protestants under Mary I's Catholic rule. Mantle writes, "She is sick, and she is rotting. There is no cure for her sickness. No man has ever cured a queen who rots. You see her sometimes in the lists, pale and gaunt, wrapped in furs. They say her nose is falling off, that she dribbles worms out of her mouth. Oh, Bloody Mary, bloody bones, they call her. A king will have her." If you'd like to learn more about the last Tudor monarch, check out my book, Bloody Mary, The Last Tudor. It's available from my website and all good bookshops. Or join me on my website for exclusive content and early access to my videos. Now the old order is failing, and there is no new order yet. She, they say, is rotting alive. In it, he wrote, being about half spent between heaven. We may never know exactly what she looked like in her final days. What is true is that she died believing herself to be a martyr for the Catholic faith, surrounded by enemies both foreign and domestic. But whether or not she was rotting alive, I'll leave for you to decide. Let me know in the comments below what you thought Mary's fate might have been like, and tune in next time for more. But we do know that when she was exhumed in the 18th century, those who saw her remains reported that they were in good condition, if a little bit smelly, which is hardly surprising considering that she had been buried in a lead coffin. She suffered from terrible migraines, bouts of agonizing abdominal pain, and spent more and more time in bed. While some of these symptoms could have been caused by her diabetes, others are also consistent with syphilis. It's a sexually transmitted infection that can cause paralysis and dementia, among other things. Whatever combination of illnesses she had, she died believing that she was dying a martyr's death. A concept taken up by many Protestants in the 19th century, Fox's lurid descriptions, written for a Protestant audience, would only add to this impression of Mary I as the tragic victim of her own half-sister. It's Protestant machinations. And earth, like one not living yet not dead, her body began to be rotten and to putrefy. Her face grew pale and wan. Her eyes did strangely goggle out. Her nose fell over to one side. Her mouth, which before had been full of sharp and wholesome teeth, now grew hollow and was filled with worms. Her tongue, once agile and pleasant to speak, now grew thick and could not well be moved. She could neither eat, drink, nor speak. It's hard to imagine anything more horrifying than that. But how true is it? Hello and welcome to this channel. So let's get into it. But while this may sound like an over-the-top description of gangrene, condition brought on by poor circulation and infection, a likely result of Mary's diabetes, a medical expert who examined her remains after her death says that this simply isn't true. The historian and physician Dr. John Courtesy examined Mary's bones and wrote, "There is no evidence that she was literally rotting alive. Rotted alive is not a medical diagnosis, however dramatic a metaphor it might be for someone who is dramatically physically decaying. And dramatically she was. Mary's health had been failing for some time. In fact, the story of Mary's rotting flesh has become a powerful image in literature and art, often used by writers, especially in Gothic or dark historical fiction, to symbolize the corruption of power. The character's own inner darkness, loneliness, and isolation, or all three, such as in The Mirror and the Light by historian Hilary Mantel, the final novel in her Thomas Cromwell trilogy. It's hard to think of a more terrifying fate than that. But was it really Mary's fate, too? And with that ends yet another edition of Bloody Mary, Bloody Myth. As always, a huge thank you to my supporters, whose names you can see on screen now.